All right. Rampage Jackson was interviewed this week. They asked him, who the dirtiest fighter ever fought. He said, John Jones, for sure. When I fought him, whenever I was like any type of advantage, he would put his fingers in my eye. Remember, your eyeball is your weakest thing in your body, right? So when I was fighting him, he was like this, just outstretched hands and fingers the whole time. It's hard to train for this. He poked me in the eye, and then anytime you come into an advance, he'd kick your knee backwards. They should make that illegal. It was really hard fighting him. If anybody got an advantage on him, he's going to kick your knee backwards, keep you away, and he's going to figure it out. Guys, do you agree? Is John Jones the dirtiest fighter who's ever lived?
First of all, I want to say thank you, Rampage, for agreeing with me that the side oblique kick to the knee should be outlawed.
Well, only because he keeps losing fights to it. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I want to ban punching. Okay, I got knocked out against Dan Henderson. That's not allowed anymore. George, I want to erase rear naked chokes. Also, that's a bad move because people lose consciousness, especially when they're badass enough not to. No, Harrington.
Do I think that John Jones is also the dirtiest fighter? Yeah, not only. I think it would be speculation, maybe a coincidence, but John Jones on camera has admitted that he finger fucks people's eyeballs on purpose. He laughed about it, and yeah, it's very dirty. Anything to win. Obviously, I think that he sort of bends the rules in any way that he can. He obviously has been very successful. So it's a really the light being shown on the rules, not necessarily the player who's bending them.
Yeah, he was it wasn't an interview. He was talking on Brendan Sharp's podcast. I think it was like a fight companion style thing with Josh Thompson and a couple of other guys. He was on there, Brian Callen and Brendan Sharp. And yeah, they asked him about it. And John's always had that reputation for being a kind of a dirty fighter with the eye pokes and the sidekick. The sidekicks are, we talked about that last time. By the way, Bilal Muhammad came out on Twitter this week and said, that's it. Okay, Bisping convinced me that sidekicks to the leg should be legal. So there you go on that one. But no, he was talking about this because right now in the UFC, there's my hand. You got to have it up like this. And they said they changed it because Jones was always like that. And it is hard. If someone's got their hands out like that, it's horrible. Because I remember, like, if I was trying to take someone down, just in practice, if we're doing wrestling and they've got their hands out like this, I was terrified to shoot it. Because if they poke you in the eye, it fucking hurts. So they changed it from that to that. And I still think that, having the hands vertical, is such a stupid rule. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
So you think you should be able to have your hands like that?
No, I don't think that. I think you should have to have a loose fist.
You have to have. Okay, yeah. So you can keep your hands
not
open.
clenched tight, but just like bent. It's not hard because look, with your hands like that, and someone's coming in to shoot or whatever it is, like that. All you got to do one movement. He goes like that. If your fingers are bent a little bit, less chance of eye pokes. I don't like that rule. I understand.
Sorry, I apologize.
You do it a lot. It's okay. Go ahead. Got used to it. I know I do.
Podcasters, you dickhead. Didn't Trevor Whitman create gloves that sort of kept your hands bent a little bit?
He does, and that's the quest that we're on. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need different gloves that do combat that for sure. And we talked about it. I think a design where if you have a little bit of elastic or some kind of stretchy material that pulls the fingers in, but it's not too strong. So when you're totally relaxed, you do it. Doing nothing, your fingers are in that position. But with the strength of your fingers, you have to do that. So to apply a submission or to grab whatever, you got to use a little bit of finger strength. So you just always has them in like that. So your hands are like that. And then if you want to grab, you just,
And that's not even uncomfortable because most people spar on regular boxing gloves and your hands are in that position as it is. I actually bought Trevor Whitman's boxing gloves, the whatever the
Onyx.
Yeah, Onyx. Yeah. Really cool. And what's funny is I was pointing this, or Diego pointed it out to me. They have like pressure points right here and right here on the wrist. On the glove, so it keeps your hand straight. And then I'm wearing this wrist brace because I have a little bit of a wrist thing going on, and it's the exact same pressure point. So the glove has the same pressure point right here on this part of the hand, so you can't really bend your wrists. It's really, really interesting. It feels very different.
How much did you pay for those?
$330.
Exactly. I'm sure they're great gloves, but Sanibel, great gloves, worn them my whole career, and significantly significantly cheaper. But still, I hope Trevor Whitman makes a lot of money out of those because they are great gloves by all accounts. But if you're looking for something a little more, a little more affordable, then Sanibel has got you covered. Gotta say that. What
Of course, actually, they're terrible gloves. Fuck you, Trevor Whitman. Fuck your gloves. They're garbage.
You know who wants this rule to come in, don't you? Strength and conditioning coaches. You know, because it's like a new routine. They're gonna, all right, Michael Lewis, today we're focusing on that finger strength. You know what I mean? Give me 10 curls, they'll have a little mini weights on your fingers. You know, but still, that's what I think they should do. It's an easy fix, I think, and then the eye pokes are eradicated.
Yeah,
maybe not eradicated. Harrington, got anything else?
You can tell I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel by the name I'm about to say. But Jorge Masvidal says he's open to putting a beating.
Whoa.
No?
You talking shit about Masvidal?
No, not that name.
You said you're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Wow, bottom of the barrel.
I'm telling.
Well,
I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him right now.
Look, I think he'd agree with the sentiment in this quote here.
You know what? Say no more, Harrington. We heard you loud and clear.
No, we got it. You don't like him.
Jorge Masvidal's bottom of the barrel. He ain't shit. And that's that.
Loses one fight, a title fight to Kamaru Usman, one of the best. Pound
Next
for pound.
topic.
Well,
wow. Shame on you. Shame.
He didn't just lose. He got knocked out.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ. He will find you. Jorge Masvidal is a psychopath. He will find you and he will fuck you up.
And he will kill you. Go on, finish the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's offering to do here. Masvidal said he's open to putting a beating on any of the Paul brothers. He said the UFC would have to sign off on it, but nothing is impossible. You know, Dana doesn't like those guys, and Dana knows I'll go in there and put a hurting on those kids. Maybe he does send in the fucking assassin. I'm going to beat up all the Pauls. So they put money in my pocket, that Logan Paul dude, Jake Paul, whoever Paul's, they put money in my pockets. Of course, I'd like to break some Disney character faces. Do you guys think Dana White signs off on that?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that when I was there watching that fight and Tyron Woodley never showed up, and then now the narrative is that Jake Paul's beating all these fucking MMA guys, I was like, okay, I've got to do something about this. I'm like, fucking, if I can find a commission somewhere that will let me fight, and they don't want to fight me, they want guys that are still active, but fucking, I would love to tee off on Jake Paul because someone's got to do it. Nothing personal against the guy. I'm not hating on him, but Tyron never showed up at all. Tyron's more scared of running out of gas than what he is of getting punched in the face. Do you know what I mean? Ben Askren was not a representative whatsoever, but I just don't like the disrespect that's on the MMA community.
Do you want to see Jake Paul fight another MMA guy? And no, I don't think Dana White's going to sign off on Masvidal, who's a current UFC star,
big star.
And he's a smaller guy. You understand, Masvidal fought a lot at 155. He spent most of his career at 170. It's still Jake having a big advantage. And yes, I think Masvidal would smoke him, but at the same time, there's almost no upside in it for Dana White. It's not even like it's a Conor McGregor thing where Conor's such a massive pay-per-view draw that Dana's like, well, fuck it. I'll take a piece of the pay-per-view and make an insane amount of money and the UFC can co-promote it. I don't know that Masvidal brings that much in terms of star power and pay-per-view draw, against Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's next opponent, whether it's Masvidal or the next guy, it's probably going to be comparable. At that point, there's not many people who are going to be able to draw the same way that Jake draws. So, yeah, I don't think Dana White would sign off on it. I don't think it's a good idea I don't think Jake Paul's going to want to fight any sort of high-level striker. They are picking their opponents. And look, Tyron, not for nothing, I still say this, Tyron could have won that fight. Tyron has the skill set to win that fight. There was moments in the fight where I was like, fuck, dude, if he really would just let his hands go, I think that he could have had that fight. I think a real skilled striker like Masvidal or Michael Bisping would be able to easily handle Jake. We watched Jake almost crumble to Tyron.
No, Masvidal would beat him. So there's too much to go into that fight. There's too many things to consider for that fight to happen. Number one, Jake Paul would want to fight him. Right now, if you're managing somebody like Jake Paul, you're going to look at that and go, it's not the right matchup for us. Because if you get beat, then the show is over. So I don't think they would take it. And then from Dana's side, of course, I don't think so either. I mean, listen, I'm not speaking for Dana, but if I was Dana White, Masvidal's a star. He's a big box office draw with the UFC, and God forbid, I think Masvidal would smoke him. He's a great boxer. He's got sensational boxing, very, very fast hands, and that crazy motherfucker's going to go forward and swing. Simple as that. He's going to go forward and box the fucking head off him. But God forbid he gets beat off Jake Paul, right? Then you've essentially lost the ability to make a lot of money off Jorge Masvidal. He's a pay-per-view star. He's a pay-per-view draw. proved, tested, tried and tested. There we go. So it's a little bit of a gamble, you know, because Masvidal would beat him, but you never know. We've seen crazier things happen, so it'd be a risk.
What
And
happened with?
it waters down the UFC. You know, Dana's always said, I don't want any of that. It's all a little bit weird. It's a little bit silly. It's illegitimate. Dana's trying to run a professional sports league. We don't need to start having these freak show fights, these circus style events, sending one of our good guys over there to fight him. You know, you never know though.
Whatever happened to Masvidal and Jake Paul being buddies? They were friends when he was fighting Ben Askren. Wasn't he into training with him in his corner, all this other stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw something, but I just couldn't bring myself to read it. I did see a few headlines, but it wasn't clickbaity enough to get me to click.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, I'll let you get off to Jamaica soon. Brian says we've got a question to finish off on. Brian, what time's your flight, Lewis?
Like 6 in the morning, something like that. 7 in the morning.
So, so you got to be there at what, like 4, 5
a couple
in the
hours
morning?
before, yeah.
Oh God, I hate those flights.
Yeah, but I like getting there early because then once I get off the flight, then it's like another 45. Well, you got to go through immigration, but then another 45-minute drive to the villa, and then we're there. We're there nice and early, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, drinking a Red Stripe on the beach.
That's good. How long's the flight?
4 hours.
Oh, that's all. Okay, then that's nothing. If I ever do a long flight, like Callum just, went to fucking Bucharest, that style of flight, and he got out of bed. He made it home, by the way. The amount of people that have messaged me.
Oh, yeah. We didn't say it on the show. That's right.
Yeah. Very, very concerned. But thank you all for the well wishes. And
that was my first thought when I woke up. My eyes opened up, and I was like, "Is Callum alive?"
Yeah, no, he's good. He made it home in one piece. But any type of flight like that, I want to go late. I want to go late at night. Last thing I want to do. No, think about it. You don't. No.
I'm sorry. The reason I'm laughing is because how funny would it be if just like Callum wasn't all right and you just were going on with the podcast like nothing happened? Like obviously he's okay.
Yeah. It says, no, sorry. Did I not mention? Yeah, he's dead. Yeah,